Hi there, Sean Mannion from Medium Interactive, and I'd like to go over quickly here the digital performance of Amphion versus a few of their competitors in terms of online performance. And so if we look at the site, it was probably top-notch for when it was built, but in modern terms, I would like to say that we just have room for improvement here. And what makes me say that is if we go to a tool that pulls in some information for us, we can see quickly here that most people access this site through direct traffic. What we want to see here is this in terms of more like a asset portfolio, where we've got this spread out a little bit more, and particularly a lot more heavy in the search results. Right now, we don't have very much data for the search history or referral sites, but what we see on other competitor sites like Oliver Wyman, we can see nearly 60% of their traffic comes through organic, and their traffic source portfolio is a little bit more diversified here. You can see they do a little bit of effort with email, a little bit of effort with social. They pretty much go for all channels other than paid advertising here, and they do get a fair amount of traffic. You can see here their total visits for several months is fairly high. Compared to something that's a little more near field in terms of competition, we're looking at the BPI group, and theirs has a significantly larger search presence here, and that's something that we really want to have happen for our digital portfolio, because that's one of the longest producing traffic generators. Once you get some good content out there and it's ranked by Google, it brings you in traffic continually, compared to social or mail or display, where you continually have to keep casting that fishing rod out there to bring in some traffic. And so let's dive in a little bit to what makes me think that BPI Group in particular is outperforming this site here. And if we just do a quick search in Google for site colon and then the site name here, we can see that Google has indexed 529 pages for this group. And so what that means is we're basically playing a numbers game here. And Google is recognizing there are 529 pieces of content related to BPI's management consulting group. Whereas if we look at our site, there are only 31 pages. So what we've got the opportunity to do here is either A, create a bunch of content that is highly targeted and relevant to the keywords that people are searching for, or update these pages so that they're a little more targeted. I think a mix of both really goes a long way here. And that's me saying without doing enough research to know what all needs to be done here. There's certainly other competitors out there who we could emulate to some degree to boost rankings and sit and jockey for positions. And just really quickly here, I'll just type in something that you may be wanting to rank for, and that would be management consultant firms. And obviously the big names are going to come up here. And we would want to choose words that are a lot more in your niche and serve the users in a helpful way. And that could be anything from fundamental educational purposes on down to content that is super valuable in terms of a case study or a data report. So let's go ahead and take again a look at BPI Group's web presence. Now just looking at the user experience, you can see they've got large text, clear calls to action, great graphics behind, and as we scroll through, we've got a lot of calls to action that are relevant to the user when they should be. For example, at this point, somebody experiencing the home page would really want to know what the main verticals are, and BPI Group helps out pretty quickly here with you'd either want to be leading, developing, or transitioning. Those are their three main verticals. They may have some others hidden in these drop-down navigation items, but let me take this back a step and look at their technology stack. The way that they achieve this is because they're using tools to track their performance. So that's how they know if they're growing. They're using HubSpot and they're using Google Analytics to track and grow. In addition to that, what I can see here is that they're using WordPress, and WordPress powers about 30% of the websites that you see every day. It's got a massive adoption. When the code is written, you completely own it. In addition to that, when you want to add some new functionality, there are a plethora of free resources out there that can be added on, snapped onto your site in just a matter of clicks. Rather than hiring a developer to completely code out anything new, we can simply bring in some features. For example, if we want to add a form to the site that sends you an email notification, at the moment somebody fills out the form requesting contact, you can get that in your inbox directly from the site and send it to whoever you want at the same time. In addition to that, there's all sorts of other features and plugins and functionality that are out there, from these bells and whistles user experience enhancements right here with flipping cards to any number of different user experience UI elements like this toggle case here. In addition to that, beyond the technology stack, the result that you can get from something like WordPress, there's all sorts of styles that have already been created, but from a mobile experience perspective, a lot of people are searching on their phones and on their iPads these days. You want what's called a responsive design, and what that means is when the site is at different screen sizes, elements shift and move and text enlarges on smaller screen sizes, and readability and user experience is put at the forefront. So if we look now at BPI Group in this iPad Pro emulator here, you can see that their text changes size. And I'm just going to emulate the flipping of the iPad. So we move from portrait mode to landscape mode. And you can see here that the elements do change size, the text changes size, and there's a bit of content choreography happening between all of the elements here. I'll just go ahead and put this in full responsive mode, and you can see what it looks like from a larger view, and then as we scroll down here, the different looks that we can get on different screen sizes. I'm just going to go ahead and refresh my screen here so that the computer can catch up with what we're looking at. And instantly you can see there are different elements in different positions. For example, now we've got this menu indicator here rather than showing every single menu item, and if I go ahead and click that, you can see we get a drop down, which is a different experience, and that's what we want for our users, a different experience on the web desktop version versus the web mobile version. And so we want to serve their needs at both times with common elements. Let me just take this back a step and reiterate a few points here. Just at a high level, we want to create more pages so that your visibility on the web increases and so that you get the highest amount of website visits, leading to conversions and people contacting you and recognizing your name. We want to get as many organic conversions as possible, and what that means is working out a content strategy that maps to a keyword list so that people will type in Google or wherever and then find your site more naturally. It's less effort for you, and it's something that can have continued returns. All right, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach me at Sean@mediuminteractive.com or fill out the form on our site, mediuminteractive.com. All right, I appreciate your time.